Let's go. Let's go.
Let's
Hey guys, we are live. Woo 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 woo. Welcome to Feature Friday. Woo 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 woo. And I want you to meet Jen Johnson right over here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo woo.
What's going on?
She is all about her brand, her profits. She is a rock star. So even her website is Meet Jen Johnson. Okay. She is awesome. So I want to introduce everybody. So welcome to the channel. My name is Camille Tyler. I am your rock star producer. I help people create those rock star brands so that your message gets out there and everyone knows your name. Okay. So Jen, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Camille. You are always so high energy. If any of you ever need a pick me up, just watch Camille live because she'll pass them on to you. But yeah, my name is Jen Johnson and I am a high performance Christian business coach. And I am just all about, helping people really create, showing experts how to create that star quality performance to be able to create influence and impact in the world. So it's all about your level of leadership, your level of how you're showing up, not just doing the do and doing the tasks and picking and choosing the strategies, but how you're actually walking yourself through the process.
Yeah. How do you do that? So who you are, tell us about your brand. I'm all about branding. You're all about performing. How did you tell me about, like, how do you come up with the content that matches your brand?
Yeah. So ultimately, it's interesting because I'm actually going through a little bit of a fine tuning. I wouldn't say a rebrand. I'm still on point with who I serve and what I do. It kind of went from this space of creatives. I'm a very creative person. So it was all around creating the right content, which I do believe you want to have like particular pillars in place with your messaging. But ultimately, when I started looking at what really sets my soul on fire, what I really love to talk about, and who I am as a person, it's performance. I am a performer. I come from a musical background. I come from a musical theater background. I've always been on the stage. And so like really being able to tie those two things together. And when it came down to what really created success for me, it wasn't the mechanics. It wasn't all the strategies work, all the platforms work, all of those things work. What it came down to is, how am I performing on the platform? How am I performing in my mind? And like, what am I feeding my mind? What am I thinking to myself? How am I coaching myself through this process so that I'm not living based off my emotions and I'm not, living in my bad habits, and I'm constantly leveling up how I'm performing so that way I can create the result that I actually want. So looking at what's your main thing, like what's, for you, Camille, it's brand, like you really believe in brand. Well, what are the things that will really support people in creating that brand? What are the really important things that will support people in performance? Well, for me, it's creating star quality. Like you get to create that, you get to identify what is your X factor, what is your star quality within, your star quality habits, your star quality, performance, your star quality way of thinking, all of that. The second piece to that would be setting the stage. So what does the stage look like for you? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Is it is it YouTube? Is it like, what's your system you have in place to put on a really good show to be able to authentically show up on the platforms you choose? And then it's communicating with your fans. It's getting into relationship with the fans that you develop, creating real fans that want to work with you, hire you, buy from you over and over again, and just become that loyal following.
Yeah, I just want to say I met Jen at a workshop about 3 years ago here in Austin, Texas, and I hooked up with her then. That I was in an advanced class, and I always got such direction from you. But I only got a little taste about what you're about. Okay. I only got a little taste about what you're about. She has a Facebook group, creator content corner, and she works with people on their content and their, but when I decided to just like go all in, I booked a call with Jen, and I really got to like meet Jen Johnson. And she was always encouraging me, telling me what to do. But when I laid down the money to have that conversation with you, my head started to spinning, and I had to have some, I couldn't cry. I paid you to teach me how I could get better results in what I'm doing. And you just tore everything I was doing totally apart, which is good. It's good. We need those people in our lives. So Jen, is there something that happened to make happen to you with a personal strategy session with somebody that really changed what you're, which brought you clarity? Because I know you're all about clarity in what we do.
My it wasn't so much a session, but my last coach that I had invested in, it wasn't so much about the tactics, and it wasn't so much about the strategies. I think a big thing for me this year has been surrender, has been learn to get your hopes up, has been around forgetting about how, I just noticed that we're conditioned to want to know how to do things. I mean, look, like we go to Google and the first thing we probably type in is how to do something. Like, how do I do it? How do I get more followers? How do I get more clients? How do I get more leads? How do I get? And it's not sitting in intention. It's sitting in how you get rather than how are you giving. You get by giving. You get by putting yourself out there and doing it messy, and stop making it about you, and stop making it about you looking good and making it perfect. Go serve someone today. And I think, Camille, that was like the big thing. It was like, you told me your goal, and I'm like, I stripped away everything. And the strategy we came up with, you're like, really? That's what I'm going to do? I'm like, yeah, that's what you're going to do. Because it's not about the bells and the whistles and all of the things. Like, yeah, you get to have that. But what's really going to move the needle for you, if you're someone in business right now and you want to make $10,000 by the end of the year, it's going to be through conversations. Conversations equal cash flow. Like, type that in the comments. Conversations equal cash flow. So, and you can.
Sandy's really agreeing with us. Yay, Sandy. Good to see you.
Yeah. Hey, Sandy. Yeah. Ultimately, you want to develop that because you don't want to constantly, and I think this is where network marketers really get frustrated, is that they never, most of them don't move beyond conversation. It's like, you want it, you get to be in conversation, you get to be proactive, and you get to also figure out how you're going to make more impact by creating a passive system that will support you in impacting more people and creating more influence. So it's a both and that gets to be in place, and you really need both. You need to have both of those things in place. A performer, needs a stage. A performer needs props. A performer wants the lights and the smoke and all the things. But at the end of the day, when you're getting started, like Lady Gaga, for example, she started out in a bar. She started out acoustic. She started out just getting in front of some people, so you want to have those conversations and get intimate with people. Supporting and serving 10 people could bring you a good amount of income over the next 2 months,
Exactly. So I know I really am drawn to you, and I was really drawn to you because your outlook on being God driven, being faith driven marketer. And, a lot of people really shy away from that, but I found as I was praying for a solution to my problem, you kept on coming up. you know? So having being in tune with God's purpose in your life and getting out there. And so why don't you tell everybody a little bit about why you do that? Because it means so much to me. I just received three messages today that said, "Hey, we talked about coaching 3 months ago, and but they were just like doing a follow up. I'm not saying it was a good follow up, but I just knew that when I prayed that the solution would come, and there you were. So I want to know how. I want you to talk about your faith and why you tend to be you're not scared to step out and be all about your faith.
Yeah, it's a great question. Without getting into politics, I think it's safe to say that, when morals and values and integrity and what you stand for isn't in the picture, things fall apart. And
exactly.
when you're trying to lead, when you're stepping up into influence and you let everything you stand for be like compartmentalized over here, like I'll grab it when I need it, it creates breakdown. It creates massive breakdown. And for years, when I first got into this industry, it was like, don't talk politics, don't talk about your faith, don't talk about this. And the more I kept putting what I believed in and my relationship with God in the corner and being like, okay, God, I know you're there. I know you got me. I'll let you know if I need anything. And I'm just going to self-manage my life over here. It sucked. Like business was not working. And the more I decided, a few years ago, I took a stand and was like, I'm done with this. I'm done thinking that it's going to be separate. Part of your brand is just you being you. And so I don't do anything without making decisions with God. Like I just don't. It's not how I live my life. And I feel like it's easy to get in breakdown if you don't, if you have that separated. And it's part of my ministry. My work has become my ministry more than anything. Whether I have all the clients in the world or I'm only working with a few, a lot of the program I'm creating right now has students, but it's still in creation. It's like a lot of things I'm building from the ground up right now as I'm transitioning into my ministry and my work. So it takes time to build all of that. And it's important that you be true to who you are and what you stand for, because that's how people are going to be drawn to you. A lot of times clients come to me first and foremost because I'm of faith. Then they want to learn more about, okay, so what's the process? So not having that will actually, if you're not standing strong for what you stand for, you could be missing out on clients. You could be missing out on opportunity to work with people because they haven't found the thing they identify with you yet,
Yeah, because being crystal clear on who you are. I'm a cheerleader. I'm a whoop whoop girl. I'm a ring the cowbell. Woo! I am a cheerleader. I love to cheer for people. I'm a hugger. I'm super friendly. I'm super outgoing just because I love to make people feel appreciated. I love that. That's part of me. That's part of me. Having everybody, giving lots of hugs. That's me. And so when I was in outside sales and when I started this business, I was told when I was in outside sales 25 years, hefty six figures, hefty six. I was told by some people, I'd get a new manager and they would say, you need to reel it in. You don't need to be so loud. You don't need to do it this way. You need to follow the script. And every time I did that, I moved away from who I was. Mom didn't make no money. Yeah. But when I was crazy, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Oh, how's your business? I was in business to business sales. I had to call on 40 business owners a day. And but because I just want to tell people, and you explained it, you have to take your personality, your life, and your desires, your God-given desires, and build it into your brand. Okay. So I also want to talk about, like, you have what in the world does it mean when you say passion to profits? What are you talking about?
Oh, you mean you mean turning your purpose to profit?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your purpose to profits.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a messaging I had for a long time. I think the word purpose is just thrown around a lot now. I think the word purpose and passion kind of like equate the same thing sometimes. So, there's certain, we're all wired differently. We're all wired in specific ways. And, purpose isn't something that you have to find. Like, you already have one. You already have a purpose. You already have passions built inside of you. They're your desires. They're your deepest dreams and your fantasies that you don't talk about because you're afraid. You've already been given and planted these things. And so some of those things are great for contribution in the world just as a service. Some of those things are great to monetize. I don't believe God wanted us to grow up and get a job we hate and do something that is not within our wheelhouse. He wired us specifically. And when we get in touch and create self-awareness of how we're wired, then we can really go out there and step into intentional work and do the thing that God has called us to do.
Exactly. It is a word that's way overused, a little phrase way overused. So you aim it all. It's Sandy, thank you for coming on. She says that it's all about serving. And so I want to know, tell everybody that's watching, I got some Gen J friends here. We're on live on YouTube. We're on my page. So listen, guys, why don't you tell us about what you're doing with your course? Like, what you had a course, I mean, you dialed in, and tell us about it. Tell us what you got going on.
With my actual program?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, I'm in the process of building out a program. I haven't actually announced. I'm changing the name of the program, and this is part of branding. This is part of brand evolving, brand evolution, which is why it's imperative that you just start and allow yourself to go through the process, because more and more will be revealed to you and unfolded to you to help you fine tune the brand. And, so as I'm going on this journey, it's like, again, like now I'm just refining messaging and refining everything. So right now, the program is called the Content Code. It will be changing. And it's essentially around as an expert, as someone who wants to work with clients or who wants to build out a proprietary online digital program. It's really allowing you to create an epic performance and experience for working with people. So it's not just about having a social media strategy, or it's not just about doing a challenge, or it's literally walking people across the bridge. People talk about the bridge a lot, like, you have your, there's people over here who are want something particular, and you can solve that problem. And creating that experience for them, walking across that bridge, creating an offer rather than just shoving a product in front of their face, having it be, an amazing experience every step of the way. And I show you how to build that out in a way that works for you, that works for your life. And on top of that, learning how to think for yourself, learning how to manage yourself as a performer in the process is, I think, the big piece that's usually missing, because people want to know how to do things. That's great. But I want to give you real transformation in how you show up as a business owner. And so we cover
I guess
a lot of ground.
That made me think of that. Jesus says, don't just give someone a fish, teach them to fish. Like
Exactly.
teach them to fish. And so because when we buy a course, when we buy a coach or product, we want them to give us what we need to do, the how, and we implement it and we get success. But the way you teach, you give us an idea and make us do the work. No handing off stuff. So by creating that gets our minds thinking, and so it made me crystal clear in what I was doing in my message. So and I'm still working on it.
It's important. We all have the most powerful tool in the world. It's called our imagination. And I think at an early age, we were programmed and conditioned to stop using it. And it's the greatest gift that God could give us, is for us to actually start using our imagination again. You don't need me to tell you how to click this button and how to click that button, or how to set up something so simple. Like, I get to empower you to start using like your ability. You're already able. And so it's imperative, not you, anybody that I'm talking to here. So it's imperative that I'm very big on empowering people to see what they're capable of. And if I'm holding and spoon feeding the way a lot of, programs can be created, it's like you're doing a disservice. If you're creating a program that's spoon feeding, and, I'm going through this with my daughter right now. It's like, she knows where to find her homework. She knows how to get her homework done, but she wants us to like log on and make sure. And I'm like, no, like, you're capable, So it's like letting go of all of those little things that you think you're doing as a service, and really creating not just a solution to a temporary problem, but the underlying solution that will propel you to start thinking differently moving forward. So.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So as we leave out on this Friday, tell us how we can get a hold of you. I put links to how you can join. You can find her. I put your website on here on the right here below this video, so you can check it out. But how can people get to meet more about meet Jen Johnson?
Yeah, I am I'm on YouTube, so you can go to youtube.com/Jen Johnson. My group right now, it's called Your Creators Corner. You can go to yourcreatorscorner.com, and we do a lot of fun stuff in there. And you can message me. Just reach out. My inbox is always open, and I keep it pretty simple.
Well, I want to say thanks so much for everything you've done for me, and I hope who's ever watching this video or a replay, just leave replay if this is a replay. And we're over and out. And I've just ended another Feature Friday where I love to feature rock stars, rock stars that are out there every single day, working it, rocking their business. So they're not sitting out, they're active, they're action takers. Yeah. So thanks, Jen.
Awesome,
love you. Bye.
Thank you. See you guys later.